Can Jarrett Stidham be the hero in Denver and take the Broncos to the Super Bowl? That's going to be a question that I'm going to be talking about and answering in this upcoming episode, along with the other matchups in the AFC and NFC Championships. So if you want to hear more, tune in right after the intro. Thank you for tuning in to podcast number 82 of Sports Talk with JWock. I am your host, Jonah Walkenfoos, and like you heard from the intro, we have the AFC and NFC matchups set, and I'm going to be giving my picks and predictions. I'm also going to be going back to and recapping how the divisional games went if you didn't watch it or if you just want to hear my opinion on how they went. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. Hit the like and subscribe and share this podcast with others, so that they also can hear me ranting about random stuff about sports and just being able to listen to a quality podcast, or at least I think. But anyways, let's talk about how the divisional rounds went first, because we had 4 games go down where we had 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday. So let's start with the Saturday games, where the first game we had the Denver Broncos hosting the Buffalo Bills. And the Denver Broncos win in an electric way. They win in overtime, winning 33-30. As a Broncos fan, I couldn't be more hyped. I couldn't even watch the end of the game because I was covering a game for Idaho Sports. So that was awesome being able to do that. But also being able to see the score of this Broncos game was incredible. The Broncos, defensively, they had their struggles. They allowed a lot of yards, but they also forced multiple turnovers, including Josh Allen having 2 interceptions. He also fumbled it twice, and James Cook also fumbled as well. So Denver really did a good job defensively at forcing turnovers. I'd like them to limit them in the yardage aspect a little better, but overall, they got the job done. There's literally Bills fans complaining about how, like the Brandon Cooks, like quote unquote, everybody thought it was a catch, but it was an interception. If you read the rule book, that's literally an interception according to the NFL rules. So keep complaining all you want. That play would have never happened if they called holding in the end zone when DJ Jones was literally getting held. It would have been a safety. Denver would have won anyways. So tough luck. Sorry, Bills fans. The Broncos take care of business. Unfortunately, Bo Nix goes down with an injury. I remember I went into my car after broadcasting a high school basketball game. I saw the news and I saw Bo Nix is out for the rest of the season. And I tell you what, that was a long drive home. That was very frustrating to see that. But I do think Jarrett Stidham is one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL. So, and I'll be, explaining that a little more when we talk about the AFC Championship matchup. But anyways, the Broncos get the job done, and I couldn't be more happy. And then the other Saturday game, we saw the Seahawks defeat the 49ers 41-6. Defeat is an easy way to say this. This was an absolute blowout. The 49ers had no chance from the start of the game. Sorry, 49ers fans, if you had any hope for this game. Seattle really diminished that hope. And unfortunately for San Francisco, to be honest, they really did have many injuries that they dealt with, especially with George Kittle. That's a huge loss. So that's a tough loss for the 49ers. They need to go out and get some more wide receivers, in my opinion. But overall, it was a good season for the 49ers, but it's not the way you want to go out. But hey, you can keep your head up knowing that you made the divisional round, which I don't think a ton of people were really expecting. But anyways, we also had 2 Sunday games where we saw the Patriots defeat the Texans 28-16. Drake May is going on to the AFC Championship for his first career playoff run, and has a chance to make the Super Bowl. The Patriots defense did a very good job with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud also just made some kind of uncharacteristic plays. It just felt like he was just off all playoffs long, but especially in this game where he had 4 interceptions. He was sacked multiple times. There's starting to become question marks as to whether or not the Texans should be looking for a new quarterback. In my opinion, I think CJ Stroud is still your guy for now, but I wouldn't hate the idea of the Texans looking into a different option at some point. Maybe not this offseason, but in the next offseason if this continues. But overall, we saw the Patriots move on. And then in the second game on Sunday, we saw the Rams defeat the Bears 20-17 in another overtime matchup where Caleb Williams had some heroic play at the end of the fourth quarter, just beats the defense, throws it to their tight end in the end zone, touchdown. Let's go to overtime. The Rams have the ball. They get stopped. So it's like, man, maybe the Bears actually can win this game. And Caleb Williams, unfortunately, throws an interception that leads to their defeat, where the Rams just go down and get a field goal and win the ball game. So it was a good run for Caleb Williams in year two. Ben Johnson also, as a first-year head coach, did really well. But overall, this Rams team, you could just tell they're going to keep it close, but they've been able to get the job done so far. So it's going to be interesting to see how they will match up with Seattle. But anyways, going into that, let's talk about the AFC Championship game, where we have the Denver Broncos hosting the New England Patriots. And it's not the quarterback battle we would have wanted or really expected, but we will be seeing Jarrett Stidham versus Drake May. And I'm going to talk about Jarrett Stidham for a little bit because, to be honest with you, why not? If you guys haven't seen already, like, I don't know if any of you have like X, the social media platform, but if you see so many Broncos fans with the Jarrett Stidham like LeBron meme, where it's like Jarrett Stidham's face on that LeBron meme, it's hilarious. I'll pull it up on the podcast right now so you guys can kind of see the picture. I love it. I love how so many Broncos fans are backing up Jarrett Stidham because, like I said earlier, I think Jarrett Stidham is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL. That could be a biased take just because I'm a Broncos fan and I'm trying to make myself feel a little better. But overall, I really do think Jarrett Stidham is a capable quarterback. Sean Payton signed him 3 seasons ago when he first came to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos. He brought in Stidham as one of his first moves, and he was very excited about Stidham. He still is very excited about Stidham. Stidham's a smart quarterback, doesn't have the skills like Bo Nix. Bo Nix is very good at getting out of sacks and being able to be very mobile and getting some throws into tight windows that not a lot of quarterbacks can do. But Stidham is a capable quarterback, in my opinion. He kind of reminds me of Brock Osweiler a little bit back when he was in Denver, in that run when Denver made the Super Bowl. So I do think Stidham can get the job done. It's going to be tough. He is going against a very solid defense in the Patriots, but he does have a very good offensive line. There could be some serious weapons coming back, like Luke Wattenberg, their starting center, along with J.K. Dobbins, their starting running back, who, since he's been out, the running game has been bad again. So it's like, if he can be back to like even 80%, that's a huge win for the Broncos. So overall, I think Jarrett Stidham can get the job done, but they're playing the Patriots. Unfortunately, I just think the Patriots are going to pull it off. I think Stidham's a great quarterback. I just think Drake May is he's just that good. I mean, Drake May is a great quarterback who has great talents. He has solid weapons in Stephon Diggs. He has, I forget his first name, but his last name's Booty. They have him, Henderson, Stevenson at running back. He's got the weapons. He's also got an okay offensive line. You know, they've got some pretty good players down there in the trenches, but overall, I do think the Patriots will win this game. I did predict in a couple episodes that the Broncos will make the Super Bowl, but I also wasn't anticipating Bo Nix to get injured, so I'm going to change it up and say that the New England Patriots will win and go to Super Bowl 60. And then we have the NFC matchup, the NFC Championship between the Rams and the Seahawks. This game will be played in Seattle. And I also picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl a couple episodes back. I do think Seattle will win this game. I think Seattle, their defense is just so good. Sam Darnold is healthy from what I know so far. And they just look good. I mean, like, the Rams are good as well. You know what? No, never mind. I did this a couple episodes back, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to switch it up. I do think the Rams will win this game. I keep talking myself out of matchups and my predictions, but I do think I'm going to say the Rams are going to win this game, actually, because They have Puka Nacua, who has been unreal since he's gone into the NFL, to be honest with you. And then they also have Devontae Adams on the other side. I know the Seahawks defense is good. They're going to have to get to Stafford if they want to win this game, in my opinion. And this Rams defense is underrated, in my opinion, at this point. If they can get to Sam Darnold, things can get ugly. So I think it's going to be a close game for both games. So I do think the Patriots will win the AFC Championship and the Rams will win the NFC Championship. And it'll be a battle between the Rams and the Patriots in Super Bowl 60, a matchup we saw a couple years ago. That was probably one of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever watched. If you guys know, you know. But anyways, that's going to be my predictions for the AFC and NFC Championships. Let me know what you guys think down below as to whether or not you agree with me or you disagree. And if you do disagree, let me know your predictions down below. That's going to be the end of podcast number 82 of Sports Talk with JWock. I just want to apologize. I think last week I said I was going to do an NBA episode this week. So all you NBA fans that were expecting an NBA video this week, I apologize. I didn't realize that next week we still have another week before the trade deadline. So I wanted to get this episode in talking about NFL since we're in the peak of NFL season right now. So I will have an NBA episode next week. That is guaranteed. We'll be talking about the trade deadline and possible players that could be traded. We'll also go back and look at the Trae Young trade for the Washington Wizards. But like I said, I just wanted to make it clear, we will be doing that episode, and that'll be next week. I apologize for not doing it this week. I just got the dates wrong. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into podcast number 82 of Sports Talk with JWock. You can check me out on all social media platforms. Just go down below in the video, in the description, and you could see all my social media platforms and where to find me and where to get news. But anyways, I hope you all have an amazing week. God bless.